What's up, Devin?
Hello, Roger. How are you?
I'm doing good today, man.
You know, that is a good song. What is that song there at the top of the
That
set?
song right there is titled 10 Plagues by the Brothers of Reggae, Roger Rivas and the Brothers of Reggae. And,
That's
and
right.
that tune, you are one of the Brothers of Reggae.
I remember. I was one of the brothers of reggae in the bathroom, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, well, you got to get them sounds, any
Mhm.
way you can get the sounds. I think for that session, what did we do? We put your guitar amp in the restroom.
Yep.
Yeah, to get that.
It's weird that's what
Whoa.
Sound Dimension did. So
We go through all this work to get that sound, and then it'd be cool if you just like found out that that's how they got that sound.
Coxon was like, you know what, Hux, you need to just go play in the bathroom.
Amp
And
sounds
that's just
cool, but it'll sound better bouncing off some Charmin. Why don't you
Exactly.
go take the amp in the restroom
He
real
was
quick?
he was correct.
Yeah, it does sound better bouncing off some Charmin.
So today is a very special episode.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we get to say that often, but it's always true. But today we have some of we have the Skints from
We have the
from the
Skints.
UK, and not only are the Skints one of the best bands around, as anybody knows who has seen the
Mhm.
Skints, but it's just also a group of just how to describe what's the right adjective. They're just
eclectic,
beautiful people.
eclectic, and in a good way, because everyone
that bad
nowadays
eclectic.
tries to. Well, everyone nowadays, I think, tries to be eclectic, right? I think so.
Are you
A
talking
lot of
about like
people.
stylistically? in
Yeah,
music? See, I was just
yeah.
talking about like they're just personally. They're some of my favorite people.
Oh, personally,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
I know you don't care for him much personally.
I don't.
but-
Yeah, I mean, on that level.
Yeah.
No, personally, they're the super cool hang. They're genuine people, and both Devin and myself got to tour with them. So the Expanders went on a tour with the Skints, and so did the Aggrolites, and so the hang's already there. We got to really vibe with everyone in the band, and
Yeah. So, it's our honor and really our privilege to have them
Yes.
on today. But before we bring them on, we always do a segment called Tune of the Week, where, Roger and I are both record collectors. We love Jamaican music, and we like to play it for you whenever we can. So we do a segment here called Tune of the Week. Roger, I think we're going to continue the tradition of the last few weeks of you going first.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So
go
do
first.
you want to say a little
Yes,
something about your
totally,
record? I'll
totally.
throw it up here. Let's see. There it is.
Totally. So this tune is by Mr. Ernest Ranglin. It's called Freeform. And, what I want you guys to listen to before even going in it is listen to his guitar. He kind of gets in where he fits in. He doesn't really necessarily take a solo, but he is taking a solo throughout the tune, So listen to that. And also for the super geeks out there, what I noticed, and this is why I picked this song, is, for people that are familiar with the Aggrolites and have listened to the Aggrolites, religiously and really know all the hits, all the rare ones, whatnot, you start to notice which songs are being composed by which band leader at the time, right? So you had, when there's a Don Drummond song that comes on, you kind of feel it. You know it. There's a certain texture that comes with it. And so this is a perfect example of Ernest Ranglin kind of arranging and putting this song together.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Check
I'm
it out.
stoked. Here we go.
You know I'm a
Yes.
fan of the organ in ska. I'm the organ anywhere, really, you know. But
I
first
was
thing I
gonna-
will bring up. Go
Well,
ahead,
I was
Dev.
just gonna say that's like the one comment I wanted to make about that tune is like you don't hear organ and ska a lot. So go ahead, Raj.
Nope. As a matter of fact, you know, I know which songs like that are out there
Right.
that have organ and ska. I mean, a popular one is Killer Diller by Jackie Mitsu. There's also another one called Wives and Lovers, and if you guys haven't checked that out, check it out. Now, there's a bunch of Byron Lee stuff, ska stuff that has organ in every single song. But that's its own
Yeah,
thing.
it really is.
I always feel like Byron Lee's its own thing. A lot of people hate on it, and there's some songs that I really like. Now, there's a lot of stuff where you can hear the commercial vibe out of it, you know, and if you know the whole story with that, you know that Byron Lee and the Dragoneers was more of a commercial band, you know, for tourists and whatnot, and they played the hotels and they played the
Yep.
clubs. And Skylight Studio One, it was more music for the people, you know, as was a lot of the other studios in Jamaica. So, yeah, I love some of the Byron Lee stuff, but that has organ all over it. As far as Skylights, it's whenever Jackie jumped in. And so when you think about the arrangement, I could easily see, you know, Ranglin constructing it, you know, telling Jackie, you know, why don't you play a pattern or something that's continuous? You know, maybe Ernest wrote the line, the horn line rather. And then if you listened, you know, he was getting in with that like kind of, I for lack of a better, you know, to describe it, like rock and rollish kind of guitar. There's a song called Old Rocking Chair by Jackie Opal, and the Skylights are the backing band. At the very end of that, it's like, it's like this rocking guitar. And, you know.
It makes sense for like the time that it was happening, right?
Totally
like
does.
mid 60s.
Yeah.
And as a
for
guitar
sure.
player, I imagine, you know, I don't know a lot about Ernest Ranglin in terms of like having researched information about him, but I've definitely listened to him a lot. And just from listening to it, like he always seemed in a category aside from even all the other individual musicians involved in the formation of Jamaican music, right? Because he sounded like he was into the musical output that would come out of him just had a different feel. And so I can imagine that he might have been into rock and roll guitar stuff a little more than, you know, some other Jamaican musicians were into rock and roll.
Totally. And I mean, he reached a point where, you know, maybe his jazz chops were getting stronger or whatnot, but a lot of his stuff was, you could hear the jazz influence as he got older. And especially now, you know, Aggrolites had an opportunity to play with him at Byron Bay Music Festival.
Oh, nice.
And got to chat with him a little bit, all that stuff. But hearing him, it's just like, it could be a jazz show easily. It's less Jamaican reggae or ska and more of a jazz show. I think him and Monty Morris, they kind of cater to those jazz festivals too. What else? Yeah, Cantone Records was one of the first subsidiary labels of Federal Records. So
Nice.
it's an early tune.
Is that an original press you have, or is that a
No, this is a repress for sure. Original press would be
right?
insanely hard. You know, you could tell original press. Here's a couple things. If the record's way clean, well,
that's
not.
not
I mean that's not fair. But
I mean-
you know, us collectors, we know like, okay, if it's a rare record and it's just super
Yeah.
clean. You
Some
know,
people in LA though, man, like, you know, Boss Harmony and some of the people at like
Right.
Rocksteady Lounge, you know, Nina,
yeah,
they've got some. I mean, and
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you pay money for these things, but like they've got some original presses that sound great, you know,
yes, man, and
of like
old-
ska and Rocksteady. You know what I mean? Like
right.
these things have been around for 50 years now. These records.
Jeez, yeah. I mean, if you got the money, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they, you know, get lucky. That's part of the game of collecting. You know, coming up on a good record with, for a good price. So,
We got Bubba, the Bubba Master on, says, "What's up, reggae nerds? What's up, Bubba?"
man. So that's a great tune right there.
That
Dev,
is a
what do you-
great tune.
What do you got for us this week?
All right. Well, I'm flash forwarding about 10 years or so. This is a tune by an artist named Lester Lewis. It's on, I think it's 1976. It's on the Attack label. And for me, if you see like 1975, 1976, and it's on the Attack label, it's going to be heavy.
Nice.
At the very least, it's going to have a heavy rhythm section. And, you know, I don't have a lot to say about this one. It's just one of my favorite songs.
Sweet.
So I'll talk about it a little bit on the flip side, but I mean, this is just a heavy one drop roots tune. Here we go. Here we go.
Bye, 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 bye. It's everyday thing. You may blow your brains out. Don't you hold back your tears, 'cause you may drown in them. Fire, fire, I'm gonna walk, 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 where I'm and free. Yeah, with your pipe, 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 this everyday thing. Lord, I say, knock and it shall be open unto you. Seek and you shall find. God, ask and it shall be given unto you. What else you want time and to do? Said I'm gonna walk, 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 for I'm free. I'm gonna talk, 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 for I'm free. The pipe, 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 it's everyday thing. Lord, I say, a pipe, 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 it's everyday thing. I, brethren, just wanted to be free, like the birds in the tree. I, brethren, just wanted to be free, like the fishes in the sea. Said I'm gonna walk, 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 where I'm free. Freedom. Talk, 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 for I'm free. Freedom, yeah. Yeah. Pie, 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 die. It's everyday thing. Lord, I say, die, die, pie, pie, die. It's everyday thing. Say, I say, walk.
Man, every time I hear that song. So one of the things, whenever I listen to that tune, I'm so. Oh, hold on. Did I? Okay, yeah, we got it. One of the. I'm always so focused on the lyrics and the vocals because I love it, and the drums. I mean, again, it's like one of those tunes where it's not listed anywhere, but it's got to be Carlton Barrett on drums,
Right.
just from those fills. But that time, just even listening to it right now, I was paying attention to the organ, which I never really have before, and like there's no bubble happening, which it seems like that would be your go-to, right, for that kind of groove.
Right.
There's no bubble. It's just doing these little licks, and that's so dope. Like if it's like I feel like a lot of, and I'm definitely guilty of this. When you're trying to emulate a throwback Jamaican musical style, it's just part of the like formula. Like it's got to be a bubble. But in Jamaican music, when they were creating it, there was, they could do whatever they want. And then that one, they were like, no, we don't need a bubble. And you don't miss it. The bass line is so pulsing. The
Right.
it doesn't really need it. So I noticed that this time. But that tune is a kind of a nostalgic one for me because when John Butcher from the Expanders and I were first getting into reggae, like in the late 90s, or like really deeply getting into it in the late 90s, we were listening to Chuck Foster's reggae show here in LA, and I used to tape it every week, put a tape in and just tape the whole thing. And then I would go back later and find the songs that I liked from that episode, and then make like a second master tape that I would, it'd be like
Nice.
Reggae Central Master Volume 1 or whatever.
Right.
And just get the good songs. And that was one I remember, just one of the first times I listened, hearing that and being like, oh man, there's great music besides Bob Marley, from the mid 70s. And that
Right.
was one of the first tunes that really, really got me excited about, obscure, diving into obscure Jamaican music, so Butcher and I used to sing that together, and there's no harmonies on that. Well, there's some, not really, he's got some guys singing with him, but they're all kind of singing unison. But Butcher and I used to try to write some harmonies to it, and when I finally found that on vinyl, it was a big moment for me. I was like, yes.
Nice. It's so crazy, dude, because you mentioned Chuck Foster playing this, and I kid you not, You know, I know you've been in his studio. I have too. But the
Yeah.
first time I was there and the first time I saw him, that's the cool thing about Chuck is he has a great record collection and he plays actual vinyl on the show.
Right.
He's not just all digital kind of guy. And the first record I did see him put on was an Attack label record. I'm not
Okay.
saying it was this song, but
Yeah.
you know how you kind of just remember things, and I was like, he had like some bamboo stuff like on the bamboo label. I'm like,
Right.
oh, what is that? You know.
He's a man. He's been. We got to have him on the show sometime.
Oh, we need to.
You know.
Yeah, most definitely, dude.
Yeah. But so Lester Lewis, I did some digging on him, and I've got another song by him called Naya Dread. It's cool. It's not as good. This is like his tune, in my opinion. But so I'm tempted to call him like kind of like a one-off artist. But
Right.
what I was reading is that he was like a preacher, and he did a lot of like gospel stuff. And then in the mid '70s, he became Rasta and did some songs like this. But then I guess he went back to like preaching.
Okay.
Like in the gospel. I think he maybe like was
Okay.
not Rasta anymore. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, so I think he did a lot of music, but like he had a very limited amount of like heavy roots reggae stuff like this.
Nice.
But that
So-
one's just a go-to for me. And again, like I think I said this last week about the record, but I probably bring that with me every time I go out DJing. I've got
Right.
like this stack of records that I always want to play. In like if I was DJing to like 500 people, 500
Right.
Devins, you know, like I would have my little playlist, and I probably have never played it once, you know, because it's just slow and heavy, and people don't like that apparently.
500 Devins, I would DJ.
That's the thing. We should. Well, no, actually, I don't know about 500 Devins.
It's one of those things where I think, like we talked about last episode, having a DJ night where it's just like musicians. I don't want to be biased, because I'm sure there's non-musicians that are reggae nerds too. But I guess, take back the musician part, but just people overall that are, not necessarily going out there just for the top 20, top 100 hits, but people that are going to DJ shows to actually hear something new. That, me personally, that's what I do, and that's kind of my problem when I collect records is I'm not necessarily collecting the hits that are on every single compilation. That sometimes, I mean, it's a catch-22 because you want to get people dancing. People dance, when they recognize a tune and they know it. But at the same time, it's like for me, I'm like, man, I want to buy stuff and play stuff that I know other people haven't heard, and then they get turned on by. Because I do too. I'll be like, what is that? And run up to the DJ table and, try to
Exactly.
figure it out.
Yeah, and you know who's the best at like being on both sides of that is Boss Harmony from the Dub Club and Punky Reggae Party.
I
because
agree.
He's got a huge reggae collection. He's got a huge record collection in general, right? And he's kind of like Opie from Long Beach Dub All Stars in the sense that not only does he have so much music, but it's all great music. He has great taste. But then he's probably the best DJ I've ever seen at being able to keep the dance floor moving. And knowing how to slip in like the obscure songs that no one knows, but they don't stop dancing, because he'll
Right.
play the hits and then throw in like one that they've never heard, but it's still just so heavy, and they're so stoked from the last hit they heard, and they're about to hear
Right.
another hit that like he knows how to sneak it in. He's a genius at that,
Right.
So
He's dope, man.
yeah, that's goals, DJ goals.
DJ.
Well, there are DJ goals, and then there are guest goals.
Yes.
And today, I think we have hit one of our guest goals to have one of our favorite bands, and as we said, some of our favorite people on the show. We have the Skints from the UK, and it is past midnight where they are. So let's not delay with
Jeez.
any more chit chat, huh?
Yeah.
Please, everybody, put your virtual hands together and welcome Josh and John from the Skints.
Yeah,
Yay.
boys.
What's up, you guys?
What's happening, dudes?
You guys good?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Great to
man.
see you.
Good to see you guys, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. Wait, what time? Well, it's late over there, right? It's like 12:21, something like
Yeah,
that.
12:20. We're still hanging in.
You're still hanging in, man. You're
Nice.
musicians. You're night owls. What are you drinking, boys?
We're actually drinking Signature Brew. There we
Okay.
which
Nice.
is a brewery where John and I have just been pulling pints all day
Like the brand.
Oh, shit.
because
Dang. Well,
it's
cheers
cancelled.
to you guys.
But,
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, cheers.
but Wicked Brew. We did our Skints beer with them a few years ago. It was called Nice Time.
Nice.
It was like a tropical pale ale.
Well, I'm sure it's a good beer, but I have to say this again. We have Aggrolite beer. Did you guys know about that?
Oh, yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
Dang.
it's a light IPA. So
Dang, what am I doing wrong?
Yours sounds
I'm the
better.
only one on the show without his own beer right now.
I like the design, man.
Brewery is
get
down.
with it. You know, it'd be cool, Devin, if you came and you had one, but it's like a piece of paper with like crayon. You're like, yeah.
I should have.
What-
No,
There-
I can
there's
see
a-
you having a sour.
Brewery, Rog?
A salad?
A sour
Oh,
and a salad.
what were you saying, Josh?
I said, what's the brewery? Plug 'em.
Ska
for Roger.
Brewing Company.
Oh,
Oh,
Bruce,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, man. They're out of Colorado. They actually make a lot of really, really good beer, and we're fortunate enough to be working with them on this one. So we'll see how people like it once it's really spread out there. But cool.
You know, we Expanders had we were working with a brewery in Ventura that was going to make a beer called World of Hoppiness.
Nice.
oh,
But
dude.
and they made it, and I thought it was delicious. But this dude was like a super perfectionist with his beer, so he brought it to the show in Ventura, and we were all stoked. He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna have it." And then the next time I went down, I was like, "Oh, what's up? Let me get a pint of World of Hoppiness." And he's like, "I didn't really like it, so we took it off." I was like, "Oh man." So I did have a beer for us. We did have a beer for a second, so I take it back. Dude, you guys, I mean, you have a new album out, so we're gonna talk about this. But my first question, because you mentioned you guys just got off of the beer, the bartending shift, is like, you guys are two celebrities working at a bar. Do you ever have has there been some funny moments where people have recognized you guys?
That happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's very fun. Yeah. But I mean, we're not celebrities in England. But don't know. We're it's local to us, so maybe a lot of people know the band, and because the brewery is kind of like a music kind of thing. They do collaborations with artists and stuff. It's kind of a lot of, the Skints is a band that you only really know if you're into music, kind of thing. So there's a lot of people that are into music there. So I guess. But it was really funny. There was one dude who came today who didn't know there was a live record out, but he was at the show.
Right.
And he was like, "Oh, we put a live record out yesterday," and he was like, "Oh, what show was it?" And he was at the show. It was pretty fun.
Nice. Yes. That must be crazy for people though, because I mean, I was driving Lyft, Uber and Lyft in LA for a long time before the shutdown, and gave over 1,000 rides. I know this because they gave me a free jacket when I hit my 1,000th ride.
Wait.
Yeah.
A free jacket? Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
And one time in those 1,000 rides did I get noticed. But I can imagine
No, I mean it's happening probably one in 1,000 here as well, but it's happened a few times. Yeah.
that must be crazy.
Yeah, it's funny. Man.
I don't get recognized. They don't recognize me. They look at me and the market. They go, "Oh, aren't you John from the Skints?" I'm like, "Nah, man." I just... I'm like, "We got the same haircut, but other than that, man." That's
Yeah. Yeah, there's one of you guys is the handsome one.
They're all handsome.
No, I think.
No, I mean one of you and.
I think it's
you and
Rod.
John. Oh, you think it's Rod?
Aggrolites.
I don't know, man.
know about
we
that.
both the bald thing's in, or the shaved head thing that's in, man. I
So
don't
we
know.
got Eric Smith in the comments from Easy Star. And speaking of Easy Star, you guys have a new live album out on Easy Star Records. Big up the whole Easy Star crew.
Easy stuff. Oh look, we can see comments.
Here they go.
Yeah, you see the comments over
See
there?
the comments, huh?
Juan Love's in the place.
Yeah, Juan Love's
Oh,
in.
jeez.
Yeah, man. So,
Sorry.
first of all, everyone, make sure you go pick up the new Skints record because it just came out, right?
Like yesterday, or
Digital yesterday. Yeah, we're gonna be running vinyl in a little while for the heads that want it, but for everyone that can't get to show right now, which is everyone, just have it, man. It's on digital. Yeah.
So bars are open, but music venues are not open, or how does that work? Because it looks like you guys are. I mean, either you two right now, you're together, so either you're being wildly irresponsible, or things are a little better over there than they are here. But what? Music venues are not open, but bars are.
There's not really gigs. The place we're working at, it's actually a brewery, so we're kind of there's a outdoor bar in a container outside of the brewery kind of thing, and then a little bar. So it's not like working in some mad pub.
Yeah, there's enough room for that. It's dissipate. It's kind of outside.
It's kind of outsidey, and you can have like one person, you can have like two different households meeting indoors at the same time.
Oh, really?
Where we're at right now, but yeah.
Oh, they like really? There's like a rule about in. Oh, that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, that's that about where you can go inside.
I get it. Yeah.
I mean, that's smart.
We've done a lot of DNA over the years,
So is that, have you guys like not seen each other? I mean, you guys obviously see each other. You work together, but the four of you guys, have you not seen each other?
Yeah, the four of us haven't been in a room since like late February.
Wow, that must be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Marcy is the only person we haven't seen in the flesh, because she's actually living outside of London now, and she lives up in Sheffield, so it's like a couple hours drive, where the rest of us are still in London and stuff. But yeah, hopefully, the plan is to be linking up for some new music, four-way makings very soon.
Nice. Well, okay, so I was asking about this live record, and I wanted to ask you guys about like what putting out a live record was like for you, because me personally, that's one of the most terrifying prospects I can ever imagine. I don't even like listening to my own live recordings, let alone putting them out there in an official capacity for others to listen to. So like I was listening to it and it sounds amazing. Like, not only is the performance great, I mean, you guys are obviously like one of the perfect candidates to put out a live record, because
thanks, man.
You know how to play your instruments, which is not a given, and you all know how to sing and write songs. You're a real band, so
real deal, man.
Yeah. So like, did you guys did you face similar? Did you have similar feelings of like, oh man, like here we go, putting out a live record, or what was that like for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely all, we're like definitely hyper self-critical band.
You have to be, don't you?
Like, in a studio album setting, do you know what I mean? But and I agree. Like, we do listen back to live recordings, but like sometimes you kind of, don't want to listen to like yourself when you was like in this kind of moment of, what performance is, which is like, your bare soul kind of thing. But yeah, live album. It felt, I mean, obviously with everything that's happened, it felt like the right thing to do. We've not had one yet. And I think live albums in the world where like everything just can be so polished and edited and all that. And the reality is the Skints as a vessel is mostly a live show, really. Do you know what I mean? We make albums every few years or whatever, and that's great. And that's what our songs sound like. But when we're doing the Skints, 99% of the time it's playing a gig. Do you know what I mean? So there was kind of that, this is like what we really are. And, it was a particularly like good night that we recorded and stuff as well, that to feel comfortable to put it out and whatnot. And I think live albums, I used to listen to some really good live albums when I was younger, like, really, when I was really excited about music and going to gigs all the time and that kind of thing. And I think that live albums are a bit looked at as kind of an old format, like the DVD or the Betamax, and people don't really
laser disc.
Cool, yeah, but we're old souls, man, and I think to have a live album in the back catalogue at this point in our career, feels kind of right, man.
And this is the first.
I've got an album and all things like that.
This is the first one, right? This is the first live album.
First live record,
Skints, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that go into that, right? I mean, did you guys?
So, we have like 4 albums now that the show is made up of, and
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys? Was it something that you guys recorded several nights of several shows, or was it like, look, we're just gonna, if it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. We're just gonna record the live album here.
Yeah, it's all one show, man. It's all the Brixton show.
Nice, man.
Yeah, I think on the tour we actually recorded 2 nights, which was that and the night after in Brighton. But I think, I don't know, it all just seemed to run good, man.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Our front of house engineer Paul, who you both probably would have definitely met on the road with us. He's been with us for years.
Mm-hmm.
He mixed it as well at the studio, so it's kind of all in house, all in family.
Nice, man.
Production wise, yeah.
Dope, man. It just came out like I went on Spotify and it literally was like you said, digitally. It came out yesterday. So
I know, because usually we like when an artist has an album coming out, we kind of try to like go get that. We're like, oh, let's see if
Right.
we can get them on the day after, and this was completely coincidental.
yeah,
That's awesome.
Okay.
Eric
is
Smith says,
super awesome.
Roger and Devin, ask them about the bubbles.
what's up with the bubbles, gentlemen? What are you hiding from us? Tell us about the bubbles. What's
Josh
happening?
pointed at you, John. So that's
We just
John.
got like 2 bubble machines. It just makes it kind of gives it a kind of swimming pool vibe, you know.
Really?
Yeah, we got
With the light shining
production
through
on
the
the
bubbles,
headline
yeah.
tour. We couldn't afford the pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
We bought some bubble machines and some fans and made our bubble techniques because that we had the swimming lessons album and just tried to give a little theater to punky reggae.
Okay. Did it work, or did you find yourself like in circumstances where it's just like the machine is foaming at the mouth?
Surprisingly, actually.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, for what was probably cost about £100 in materials.
It's like MDF, like
some wood
glued
and some
together,
fans
yeah.
and some bubble machines.
occasionally
Right.
had to, like a little poke to get it going. but
Yeah.
it was good.
It was it was cheaper than the pyrotechnics, that's for sure.
Scope it out, gentlemen. If you try and do that again, we'll take the cheaper route. Hire me and Devin, and we'll he's on stage right, I'm on stage left,
Yeah.
and we'll just blow the bubbles.
Right. The big
Let's
one,
go.
the big green plastic one
Yeah.
with like shapes. You can do like animals and stuff. There's
We got
giraffes
this.
and-
Oh
yeah.
wow, yeah, okay, cool. Now you're speaking.
It's
my-
just a thought.
I'm with it.
I'll go over there for that to be your bubble guy.
Yeah.
Bubble Tech
call-
1, Bubble Tech 2.
Yeah, I call stage left.
Bubble tech. Dang it, stage left. He knows that's my favorite stage.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, it's John's side, so you can hear the bass.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, oh, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's over there. So you guys, I totally agree when you said earlier that you guys are like a live band, because, I mean, there's all kinds of, the Extreme is like a band that is just a studio band, and they can't perform, the vocals are out of tune live, or they're not as tight live, and then that's just it. Maybe they have like a teleprompter. They need to see the lyrics. It's just so manufactured. It's so plastic. With you guys, it's so genuine, man. I've seen so many clips online, and obviously playing with you guys and seeing you guys in person, the vocals are on point. Nasty on point, man. It's
Wow,
like,
thank you, man. That means a lot. Coming from you, man.
it's like, I don't want to be a jerk to all the other bands out there.
Screw all the other
But-
bands out there. I don't like
but-
any of them.
But like in my book, I'll get excited about something, and I won't. And so a lot of times, you got friends or you got people, and it's like, man, that sounds good, or that sounds good, or that element sounds good, or that. And in my head, I'm like, well, that's kind of the weak part or whatever. And if they're the friends, you tell them this and that. And when I listen to the Skints, you can't find any weak part. The vocals are on point. Josh, the bass is, I mean, John, the bass is heavy as fuck, like just in the pocket. You know what I mean? Drums, guitar, everything. And Marcia's just a genius. She's on the flute, on the keyboards, on the sax, everything. It's just, you guys are big over here in Los Angeles. Really, really big, man.
No, humbly thanks, man. We love it. They had a wicked show at the Echo last year over there, man. It was amazing.
Dude.
We hadn't been over for a minute either, and we were a bit scared. And yeah, we got so much love for LA, dude.
Yeah, genuine
Band
talent.
as well, like, apart from like the Frighteners, pretty much all our favorite reggae bands are from LA.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool bands in LA.
There's a couple. There's a few.
They're all our friends, so I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just kind of busting their chops, There really is. There's a lot of.
It must
talent.
be crazy for you guys, like not being able to tour. I mean, it's crazy for us all, but you guys are one of those groups that, like, at least it seems to me that you guys are always on the road. So it just must be such like a shock to not.
Yeah, man. I mean, we've been just relentless for so long since we were so young. I mean, we must have first toured with you, Rog, like, I think it was 2009, our first gigs with the Aggrolites. It was like
Wow.
our second like touring year.
That was such a crazy tour, man, because we were, Aggros. At that point, we've been fortunate to go to Europe many times. So at that point, it was kind of like, all right, we kind of got know what's cracking. And we did the tour with you guys. It's like, all right, cool. No one knows. You never know what kind of band, what they're gonna be like. And then, We'll be talking in the van the next day or backstage, and it's like, man, this band's got it. This is dope. This is something different. This is
Oh man,
a
we were way scrappier back then as well, man. And more rough, ready, and clueless.
Well, we got them more in their closer to their prime, Raj. And
I know
one of the
you
best,
did, man.
one of the best tours we've ever been on.
That was a wicked tour, man.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't,
my
you know,
heart.
it wasn't like huge crowds every night, but just like the vibe. It was so
No, it
fun.
was perfect. It was perfect, man. It was like, you know, and Rod, you probably feel this as well, like, you know, going across the world to do music. That I think there gets to a point where, like, you're going all this way across the world to play music, and like at that point when you're with like the right band and the energy in the room's good, like you're not counting the heads really.
right.
To a point. You know, on the right tour. Don't get me wrong, some gigs you definitely are, but
Yeah,
when the
some
vibes
gigs
are right, you know what I mean?
Some gigs you're counting the heads.
Yeah.
Juan was in the comments right now, and he was like, "Do you guys remember the show? I think it was San Luis Obispo, but Expander Skints show where we blew the power. Remember that?
The outside at the
Yeah.
brewery.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
We couldn't make any, and like the sound, the decibel limiter was like the sound, the snare was like set the sound limiter off or something.
Yeah,
And it was
the
like,
whole all the sound,
be louder
went-
than the snare drum.
everything went down except for the vocals. Like the vocals were still on. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was
And they had like the brewery noises as well going on during.
yeah, with like the tanks making mad noise and stuff.
Jamie Zeb says, "Yo, tell Josh I said what's up." Big up Tribal Seeds and Jamie in the house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what's going
Hey.
on? Yeah, pick up the travel lot, man.
We gotta
Um,
get travel.
You guys, I hope
I know.
all you US guys are doing all right.
It's crazy for everybody, you know. It's like it's just nobody can play gigs. It's insane. It's insane. And we didn't think it would last this long. Like, you know, Roger and I both have been playing in Long Beach Dub All Stars for me a couple years, Roger longer than that. And we had a whole summer tour, you know, planned. And when this all happened in March, it was still kind of up in the air. Like, well, maybe by July things will be back to at least the point where we can go play these shows. And now it being just like, you know, at least over here, people are like saying at least another year, you know, and then
Right.
who knows how long until, who knows what that's going to look like, if it's going to be a full house or what, you know, so it's crazy. It's insane. So such a weird time.
It is.
Weird time.
So what, are you getting the studio working, Rog?
No, this is just the actual cardboard cutout behind me. This is all just like if I push that, it's over. And then there's like a desert behind me. I do my stuff outside. Yeah, Josh. I mean, here's the deal: is it like, you know, I've been fortunate because if you're able to do work at home as a musician, then you're fortunate in general. But then now that you know this whole era, quarantine vibes, you're still able to work, still able to. You know, I've been doing dubs for people, dub versions, and you know, keeping busy with that, and really getting into that, and just you know, mixing different projects and stuff, and writing. A lot of cool stuff that's in the works that I can't talk about, but no, I'm joking.
Oh, talk about
everything,
it.
everything. There's actually a couple of things I really can't talk about, but no. But it's just you know, keeping busy for sure.
No,
and
good.
then this show keeps me and Devin busy for sure too.
Yeah, this has been one of the silver linings.
Yeah,
Have you guys kept busy? I mean, I know you know you're not seeing each other in person and stuff, but are you guys the kind of band that you guys are able to write on you know on location and kind of bounce ideas?
do you know what? It's kind of with the Skints. Oh, hello. We've got a cat joined us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, every song's different, man. It's weird. It's like certain ones, you know, like me, Marcia, and Jamie will all do like our separate writing and at home and stuff.
Mhm.
So, you know, that's been happening. But then certain tunes are like kind of built, four of us in the room, maybe like building from like the rhythm up. And that's kind of a bit more collaborative. That'll come together more in the room or in the studio when we are kind of musically more bouncing around each other. But yeah, a lot of like the concepts and lyrics are sometimes collaborative, but yeah, they're pretty more going on with the three writers in the band. And then the four comes to play when it's musical
live
arrangement
thing, yeah.
time, yeah.
So have you
Nice.
guys had to adjust in this era of not being physically together but still trying to write music?
Do you know
You guys
what? I mean, I'll be honest with you, in terms of the quarantine, we're not really trying to be like forcing, like trying to write over Zoom or
Right.
even the email or any of these things. It's kind of like let's work on our thing. You know, me and Jamie have linked up a couple times now. With us three are going to be linking up to do music, and then hopefully in a couple of weeks something, Marty can come down, and then we can start getting some of these ideas cracking a bit more. But yeah, we didn't really, because we had our album last year, and I mean obviously our year fell apart. We haven't really been like, right now quarantine is like Zoom songwriting sessions and all this kind of thing. It's
Right.
no, we don't really want to like force the formula
sure.
because you know we are going to come together, and everyone is still on job doing their thing. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, in a weird way, it's a nice little break too, right? Because it's kind of like, okay, you know,
this is it, man. I mean, obviously we were actually lucky enough to get a tour in this year anyway. We were out late January into February with the Interrupters over here.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I heard about that for
Those
sure.
are
Yeah.
our boys.
Really good fun.
Great tour.
And you know, feel very fortunate to have been able to get some road action this year. Do you know what I mean? Because usually it's kind of, you know, kind of a dead time. January, February, you may or may not be on tour. Do you know what I mean? Whereas
Right.
obviously, you know, from spring onwards, it's usually jumping. But yeah, obviously not do that. Honestly, it has been nice to reflect, like, and take some time to look back at like the last however many amount of years and be like,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? We've like
Mhm.
we've been doing stuff and yeah, and kind of just, you know, having some like contentment. I think you probably feel this as well, like when something you do all the time and not necessarily take for granted, but like when it's actually taken away from you, it's kind of a different feeling for it than if you're choosing to stop. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
For sure.
Roger and I did. We played this like special quarantine show. It's the only show we've done. We DJ'd at it, but then like in between our sets, we were watching some of the artists play, and Roger and I were just saying like, man, it's crazy like how we didn't realize how much we missed live music. Just even watching a band play, which, you know, oftentimes I would just ignore every band playing just because it was happening so much. And we're just like, dang, this is just so nice. We didn't realize like until it was taken away, like you said.
Yeah,
how much
even
we
sound
missed it.
check. I mean,
Yeah.
I was making a joke about it, man. Like, you know, I miss loading in. I start loading my car up just for no reason and then unload.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. It's funny.
And then run to my kitchen for the veggie tray. You know what I mean? So that's it.
It's funny being at this brewery. Like we were saying the other day, there'd been like a spillage out the back. It got hot in the sun. It's like the stale beer smell on the floor.
Really brought it back.
I was like, oh yeah, this is like a smell regular in my life. You know what I
It
mean?
was triggering.
Like, that festival kind of, just yeah.
Look, hey, we got looks like we got Lynval in the comments here.
Why?
Hey guys, Lynval here. Good to see you with my dear friend Roger. See you all in Halifax in July.
Yeah.
Big up Lynval, man. Every
Speaking of Lynval, we had Lynval on the show a few weeks
It
ago,
was
I guess.
Lynval's birthday yesterday, by
Was
the
it?
way.
mate.
Yes.
Oh man.
Birthday.
So Lynval, I mean, we should. He's watching. June's watching. Lynval's watching. Ready, guys? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Oh, are we out of
It doesn't
sync?
work, but it doesn't work.
Ah,
But
Well,
the
Lynval,
spirit is
happy
there,
birthday.
Lynval. But speaking of Lynval, you know, we had him on, and I actually wanted to play you guys this clip from that show because someone in the comments asked him a question, and here was his answer. James, this is an interesting question. James wants to know, Lynval, what are some contemporary reggae artists that you listen to now?
Right now, I listen to what they call that London. They're from London. I think they're really good. The Skints,
The Skints, yeah, those are
Yeah.
those are our good friends.
really, really good.
Cheers
And
to the Skints.
You know,
Cheers to the Skints.
oh,
Wow,
Yeah.
that was very surreal.
So Lynval likes you guys apparently.
No, yeah, we've met him, man. He's very, you know, obviously, bro, no specials, no Skints. Very simple. Do you know what I mean? So,
Right.
Mhm.
No specials, no lots of bands, I would say.
all of us. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
So they're obviously one of those bands that influence, you know, you guys. And speaking of that, I had to touch on something, man. I was like, you know, roaming around the web, and your influences are like all across the board. And so one of them was Weezer. So who's the Weezer fan in the band, and how does that happen?
I think everyone's the Weezer fan. But
Oh, okay, cool.
I think in terms of prominence in recent songwriting, it's definitely Jamie. There's a song on the last album, What Did I Learn Today, that was big time influenced by Weezer.
Oh yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah, man. I mean, all of rock music, punk music in general, like we all definitely are reggae heads, and that's like one side of our listening that's come along. But really, we come from the punk scene. Not the Weezer's a super punk band, but yeah, we're definitely not ashamed of our kind of rock music. Do you know what I mean? I feel like in reggae it can be
Right.
easy to kind of pretend that you've never liked anything else, sort of
For
thing.
sure.
Yeah.
Which you guys don't do, which is like, I love that about you guys. You really you embrace all your influences and like bring them forward in just like an awesome way that really, really works.
Right.
Thanks, man.
Has that ever been like a subject of conversation? Did you guys ever sit down and go, okay, this is what's going to be the blueprint for the band. This is what we want to sound like. Or do you just let it happen naturally? Because it's beautifully all over the place. You know what I mean?
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, we've really let it happen. Like it's been such like a big part of our lives for so long, and like a lot of our like growing up has come with that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We've been together for like 13 years now. We've like grown up in the band, and there's been like a lot of evolution, and there's kind of been a lot of different things coming in, and I think within the genres that we're playing with, that part of our identity is that we're not, within the reggae, we are from, we're born in this time, living in this place, so naturally these influences are going to come in from X, Y, and Z as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
totally, man. Totally.
And,
sure.
and with bands that have existed in the past, like maybe like a Fishbone or something, who just do not care, and it's like it's the band that I'm expressing myself in whatever style I want, kind of thing. Or maybe not quite as wild, definitely not as wild and far-reaching as Fishbone, but for a band like that to have existed and be like, well, if they did it with their band, then maybe we can do our thing as well, or whatever. So
right. I think a lot of bands are scared to take that route, obviously, because it's you're chanting so much, you're not a part of anything specifically, you're just kind of doing you. So I commend you guys for that. You guys are good actors too. You guys are amazing actors. I'm gonna tell you why. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody out there, you got to go after this. Go peep the Restless video that you guys did with Protege, right?
thanks, man. That was the most fun.
Yeah, you're the star. Really.
No, you're the closing shot with John Doyle was the best piece of cinematography. Scar Punk.
It's beautiful.
You as a person though, just like panicked, trying to get stuff.
Yeah, it was weirdly like prophetic, that video of
I mean, Josh, your acting is on point. This whole oh geez, all you guys, Marcia's acting, everything.
Yeah, basically me like just being my role in the band, but in a
right
TV news, running
yeah.
around freaking out because it's all falling apart.
Right. Everyone go check that out. Restless featuring Protege. It's an amazing tune and it's a great video as well.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that was definitely probably the most, should we say, creative, artistic?
Yeah, like artistic. Yeah,
Yeah,
like, had like a definite like brief or. Like,
it was weird too. It was done in like 4 hours. We did the whole thing in like 4 hours.
Wow.
We
Nice.
got the train out to Cardiff in Wales to shoot it,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, we kind of built the concept up with the director of like having the one shot and the newsroom and all that. And then when the guy said rap, we were like, "What? Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, got it." And I don't know. I'm sure you guys know. Music videos for us is usually pretending to play a song for ages.
Right.
Man, Expanders did. We have 2 videos, but they were shot the same day from our first record, and then we never did another one. So I don't really know anything about music videos. But Roger's right. You guys killed that one.
No,
It was great.
That was
It
good
was
fun.
great. You know what I want to touch on? I want to touch on the song "The Island."
Okay.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. It's an anti-Brexit song, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about that song, because I know, and it's a great video as well, by the way.
Oh yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, big up George Coffey who did the animation on that one. He smashed it. Yeah, so The Island is it's a punk rock song on Swimming Lessons, our most recent album, and this is kind of us venting our frustration at that whole Brexit scenario, which people can Google if they want to find out about, because I can't be asked to explain the whole thing.
Right.
But, yeah, it's basically us feeling like the UK leaving the EU on a phony vote that didn't need to happen, and it particularly affects us as individuals, but more importantly, the country negatively in terms of
The future.
the future basically. So yeah, the island, it's definitely a song born out of extreme frustration.
Right.
What was the reaction of your guys' fans to a song like that? And and not just that, but like in general, you guys are vocal supporters of the global anti-racist movement, and just here in America, unfortunately, in like the reggae scene, like there's a noticeable divide, right, between people who are working towards dismantling the white supremacist infrastructure of this country, and people who deny that racism even exists, and just want you to shut up and provide the soundtrack for them to get wasted to. And like you can you notice online it becomes a very like if you post something or put out a song or say something on stage, or you right away there's an argument. And is it similar over there, like when you guys take stands like that, or how is it?
I would say that it's maybe not as explicitly extreme as it is in the US, but there's definitely stuff along those lines. I mean, with the island, for example, I think most people that are like probably into the band are probably like down with the viewpoint. There was maybe certain maybe some older people that have seen us at a festival before that maybe had liked us on Facebook,
Didn't understand the
that
context.
had never maybe read our lyrics or kind of got where we were coming from, that felt that we were attacked or wrong about that or whatever. But for us, it's just kind of funny to see that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not really get into beef with anyone online with that kind of thing, the Brexit. I mean, in terms of the anti-racism and the BLM thing, I mean, I think it's weird, isn't it? It's kind of, you're talking about within the society of your country, and as you guys were saying, within the reggae scene, they're two different things. I think societally, there's loads of people in England that just don't understand, are going to react badly to that, and they just need to be educated. But within the reggae scene, I think, while there's probably are quite a few people that don't, are ill-informed and don't understand what they're talking about there, I think here in England, it's maybe a bit more understanding than America, because our reggae scene here is kind of more directly from like the Caribbean communities in England. Like that, like there's kind of no question about that. Like,
So true. Yeah.
that's what's
It
going
makes a
on.
lot of sense.
Maybe more, it's kind of,
Yeah, it's further along the path, right?
with like Black British history as well, like kind of undeniably. So there's kind of less room for an argument in that scenario. Do you know what I mean? Even though I'm sure there are idiots that would try and say something. Whereas from my understanding in America, at least on the West Coast, the reggae thing is kind of a lot more weed related than maybe Jamaican diaspora related. Straight in terms of culturally, its significance in the place.
Yeah,
So-
no, I mean you're nailing it. You're speaking about the West Coast reggae scene more accurately than a lot of people who
Amen.
are involved in the West
Sure.
Coast
And
reggae.
Amen.
I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying in terms of people's understanding of what they're dealing with.
Right.
Really, do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, for sure.
Whereas maybe the East Coast, the New York, Miami, and these kind of places are a bit more similar to the UK, and they've kind of got a bit more of a sound system history, and like Toronto and things like that as well. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Totally makes sense, and it becomes frustrating for some of the cats that are on the West that hold the Jamaican music near and dear to their heart, and like you said, sound system culture, or in some of these things where, you guys are definitely fortunate. I think over time, you'll get those in the West that either are going to continue to be like, all right, reggae is just like Devin said, a soundtrack to something that I can dab to, or reggae changed my life because I started digging deep and really seeing the music for what it is. But yeah, we got to struggle with that over here for sure. There's a lot of bands with
Yes, that kind of upsets me to hear that it's the bands as well, because
it is.
Do you know what I mean? That's
Some.
something I think you would see less of here. You wouldn't see that here. I don't think bands. Well, I'm sure people in general in this scene maybe, but yeah, the bands thing. That's just like
That doesn't
Yeah, what are you
count.
up to?
It's been noticeable. It's been crazy these last like few months, especially because obviously while this movement is nothing new, the momentum of the last couple months has been undeniable, and it's like to see which bands are taking a stand and saying anything, and which bands are just like being completely silent, and you can tell it's just praying that this all goes away quickly. It just feels like it's just an awkward inconvenience for some people.
Nah, yeah.
You know what I mean? It is.
I mean, that's
important.
well, like it's kind of going back to your question about like the island and the Brexit thing is that it's all right. Maybe in our fan base, it's not like a split down the middle divisive thing, but it's ultimately like taking a stance. It's an artist. It's a band having a stance on things, which coming from the punk scene for me is crazy that there are people out there that's being like, you shouldn't have an opinion on like certain things. Do you know what I mean? I think, a lot of people saying like, will say things like, why are you keeping the politics out of the music? And it's like, have you been listening? Like, what music are you listening to? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Oh, for sure. No, I think I've told this story on the podcast, but at Cali Roots, it might have been the year where we played together. I'm not sure, but Chronix was playing. I mean, it's Chronix, like Jamaican reggae artist, and in between one of the songs, he said something. I don't remember what he said, but it was like something that caused some dude in front of me, like, to turn to his friend and be like, "Oh man, like why can't he just leave politics out of it like that?" And I was just like, even knowing to expect that kind of thing, it just was like, really? Like, you just really like are at a reggae show and there's a Jamaican reggae artist on stage and you're like upset right now that he's like harshing your vibe, or whatever. It's insane, but it's a reality. It definitely exists.
Him saying that and even thinking that is like in itself like political.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's it is like, it's something. It's disappointing, but not surprising, unfortunately.
Right.
So everybody, there's a lot of comments and questions in here, and I want to get to them.
Let's do that.
Let's do that because I got a bunch of other questions too. Yeah. But let's see. Okay, so somebody asked about. Here's a good one. Zach Freeman wants to know, what is Josh's favorite tattoo that he has?
I've not got tons. I reckon it's probably my Dennis Brown wolves and leopards are trying to kill the sheep and the shepherd. That's my little Dennis Brown influence. That's probably my number one.
That's awesome. I didn't even know you had that. Did you have that before? Is that a new one?
No, I had that maybe like I was about 23, about 7 years ago.
All right.
Wow.
Nice.
John, you got any tattoos?
None at all. I'm pure.
Me too. And I ain't even saying that to be cool. I ain't got no tattoos.
John will be.
I got a feeling me and John are going to start a band together.
John will be recognized as clean when the rapture happens.
Yeah. Sneak through the filter.
It's soon.
Hepcat told me. Greg Lee told a story about being in Rancid, being in Jamaica with Rancid, and them like walking down the street, and like Tim and some of them just getting like accosted by like old Jamaican women, like for that reason. They were like, "Don't you know that Saint Peter would never let you into the gates of heaven with that crap all over your body?" And wow. I love when Greg tells that story. So so John, you're on the right track.
Be a fly in the wall when Hepcat and Rancid was in Jamaica, man.
Right.
Wow.
But yeah, John, you're right to prepare for the rapture in that way.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's some other questions in here. While I look for them, one thing I wanted to bring up, because I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't, is that
don't be remiss.
Yeah, you four in the band, the four Skints. So obviously we've got Josh and John here today, half of the Skints, and the other half is Marcia and Jamie, and you four seem to like each other. And I've been like, you guys all seem to respect each other. And I've been around many bands for extended periods of time on the road, and like there isn't even really like a close second that comes to my mind in terms of a band that like just seems to have such like genuine love and respect for one another off the stage, and like in the Expanders, after the tour we did with you, like for a long while afterwards, we all talked about like how we missed like being around that energy that you guys have, and like what a good influence it was. and like, so yeah, like you guys all apparently
Oh, wow.
like each other. And how did that happen? And were you all friends before you formed the band?
Yeah,
mean,
man.
It started with friendship. Yeah, 100%.
Well,
Totally.
it's a beautiful thing to be around, I will say.
You guys went to high school together, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, but high school in the UK is like from 11.
Right.
So, okay, so me and Marcia knew each other from what you would call elementary school. So from like 5 years old, we knew each other. We weren't like best friends, but we was, you know.
Wow.
And then when we went to it's high school here, when you're 11, we became friends with John and Jamie, who were a couple of years older than us. And then we were kind of the freak, you know, punk rock, stoner.
Yeah, like alternative.
Grunges,
whatever you call them.
yeah. Grungers was the word back then
was the
in
word, yeah.
London. But yeah, we were those kids, man, and we, you know, the kids that were just like hanging out in the music rooms trying to play instruments with each other and stuff.
So
That's
you,
how-
the four of you guys were already playing together in school?
No, yeah, kind of
Yeah,
towards
yeah.
the end of school, really, was when the Skints was happening and starting to play a few local shows and things like that.
Me and Jamie had like gone into college or whatever.
Yeah. Or college is what you would call senior high school, I think.
What we need to get on the same page here,
I
huh?
know.
UK and America, man.
all
Just call it the
confusing.
same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
You call
So,
you,
yeah,
you guys
it is
call it
like-
what? Senior high school?
So like college here is when you're like, what, like 16 to 18, 17 to 19 kind of thing.
College for me was when I was like 28, 29, 30.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's like university. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I took a long time.
But we did the band instead of that.
Good for you.
Which way?
Yeah, it's better. Oh, this is my computer is doing weird things.
Oh, you're putting what did that say?
I wasn't trying to put that up there. I really wasn't.
That
hold
was
on.
Good.
So some people are wanting to know about Cali roots. And let's see, we got this
Lizzie B.
Lizzie B, who, you know, big up Lizzie B. She's a big supporter of the show, and we appreciate you. She says, take us back to when you jammed California Roots Festival in Monterey in 2019. Who was on the bill that you guys really wanted to watch play? I think that was like the third time you guys played it, right?
Yeah. So now I've got to remember who played what year.
Right, yeah.
All right, so it was last year we played Cali Roots, and who was playing?
It's hard. They all kind of do blend together, huh? Like in a good way.
Totally do, man. And you all know what's going on at Cali Roots, so
Yeah.
yeah, it gets a bit blendy year to year.
Heck
Mhm.
yeah.
Lots of coconut water.
Still Pulse,
Yeah, definitely.
Still Pulse, definitely.
You're looking it up. I love it.
Yeah, we are, man. I can't remember who was there.
I'm the same
Who was
way.
headlining our day? Bro,
I
this
mean-
is so bad.
It was either.
Like one day there.
I don't even have to look it up.
Oh, we didn't really hang about. Cali Roots last year, we had to go to Vegas to play punk rock bowling.
We were like in and out.
Ah.
Yeah, so we played, and then I think that night we were on the road to Vegas. So yeah, we didn't really watch too much of Cali Roots.
Have
last
you guys ever played punk rock bowling before? Was that your first time?
We did like a sideshow in 2015.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
so
we
you,
did that.
you knew what was up, right? Just a bunch of
Yeah, but we did like the main festival last year. But yeah, like John said, we did a show with like the Boss Tones, like outside of the bunkhouse.
Yeah, that's a great spot.
First
Yeah.
tour actually right at the end. We did Cali Roots and punk rock bowling. That I think you guys, Aggrolites, probably and us are like the only bands that would do like Cali Roots and,
And yeah.
punk rock bowling.
Yeah, the crossover is unique. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
That's good.
We need to do another tour, man. What's going on here?
Please.
Are
Well,
you guys? We'll make it happen.
yeah, man. We should do something like maybe. I don't know, man.
I like where you were leading to like, well, Raj, a tour is pretty big. We should
Yeah.
do something like
do
maybe,
something. I don't know about
maybe,
tour, but
maybe a weekend thing. See how
We
that
have
goes.
played together before.
France.
Yeah, like some France, Spain.
That'd be sweet.
And what's up?
Yeah.
Dude, we got some. Sorry, I'm just looking at these comments. We got some good ones in here. Opie Ortiz from Long Beach Dub All Stars says, "Can Josh
Oh yeah, big up,
Can
Long
can
Beach.
Josh speed rap his answers, please?"
Oh man, nice. Josh
I'm
is
thinking it's too late. I'm thinking of them too slowly to be too fast right now. But big
And,
up Long Beach Dub All Stars, man.
Yeah, man. And Juan Love wants to know, what's the band name origin? Which is a good question, you know? Like, wow, I never even really thought too much about that. But it's a great name, and how'd you guys think of it?
It's actually a bad name, but thank you, Devin.
I disagree, but go ahead.
naughty name.
So, in in the UK, to be skint, the band name doesn't make grammatical sense. If you are skint, it means you are broke. It means you've got no money right now. It doesn't necessarily mean, you know, you're about to starve to death, but it means you're, you know, a bit strapped for cash right now, right? Skint. So you would say, I am skint, you are skint, he is skint, she is skint. So the skints as a plural doesn't actually make any sense. But, you know, when I was a teenager, I thought it sounded like a cool name for a punk band. So here we are.
I think you were right. It's
Yeah.
a very good name. And here we are all skint. We're skints together.
And while we're talking about why did we come up with that name, I had to ask you.
You're asking them how broke they were?
Swimming lessons. Like, where did that? What was the concept for that right there?
Okay, so swimming lessons. The track 1 is called "Learning to Swim," and it's actually a song Marcia wrote about her late younger sister. And so there was in that song lyrically the kind of swimming, keeping your head above water kind of metaphor. And then funny, the name for the album didn't come straight away. And then there was kind of like a lot of talk about the name for the album. And then if you actually look through the album, there's quite a few little like swimming and kind of like aquatic metaphors that like kept popping up and stuff in like different ways. And I don't know, swimming lessons as like an analogy like seemed to be like quite easy to like apply to like many of the different kind of like topics and moods in the record and stuff. And then yeah, kind of when it comes to the artwork, visually expanding that, it all sort of started to happen. And then we kind of, yeah, like John said, with the live show, the bubble machines and kind of like the tannoy, like you're at the swimming pool, and yeah, you hear on the live album and stuff like that. Yeah, just kind of all seemed to be the.
I like it. It's all tied together. And while we're still on the subject of why was that name, so why the name Joshua and Jonathan?
Yeah, where does that come from?
Right. Okay. So I think in the backstage we've got both of our parents actually, so we can bring them in.
Oh, don't even. If you do, I would love it. Imagine. Yeah, in the backstage, we're like, this is your life.
Yeah, they're not social distancing at all. Just one by one, just more people.
It's the whole family in there.
Yeah, I'm glad. No, I don't know why I'm called Joshua, but apparently between that and Arthur, and I'm really glad that I got Josh instead of
Arthur.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah, Arthur's good.
You're much more a John than a Peter.
Yeah, Peter's shit.
Peter, yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, Peter and Arthur. My next question now.
From now on, you guys are Peter and Arthur, definitely.
Oh please, Peter and Arthur from the Skints. Yeah, next dimension Skints.
I wanted to ask you guys talked about you guys being influenced by all kinds of different musical genres, but I am always interested in asking guests, and especially you two, who are some of your biggest Jamaican musical influences? That influenced you growing up and getting into music, but also some of your favorite Jamaican artists right now.
That's a really good question, man. I think as a band, we've kind of like, in a lot of ways, like been on like the kind of the journey like together, in like certain ways. Like, I guess, like early on, like I like really got into like ska. I like found out about like proper ska when I was like very young, and like dub as well. I got an uncle that really put me onto a lot of music from very young. So I kind of had like tapes of like King Tubby dub mixes that he'd made off his vinyl when I was a little kid, and well, not a little kid, but 13, 14 at this point. And so like not that didn't like put me into like mad record collector head, but it was kind of a noise that impacted me quite a lot. And like trad ska as well. Obviously I liked ska from punk and things like that, and then got into specials, and then was like, what did the specials like? And then it was like, okay, cool, Aggrolites and Phoenix City All Stars and all this like great old ska music. And then I guess together with Jamie coming into the fold, Jamie kind of really brought like the roots selections into the camp from when we were like maybe 17, 19 and stuff. And then it was like Johnny Clark and the Abyssinians and a lot of them kind of things that put us into harmony as well, like culture and congos, like the kind of more roots thing. And then I think as the band was really like experimenting with the reggae and finding our style as the albums have gone on, it's probably more like a kind of John Joe Laws, like Volcano thing. It's like a big influence in, like, if you hear a lot of our rhythms and stuff, and kind of that like roots Radix, kind of like late 70s, early 80s, like Volcano,
right,
kind of thing. We like all like kind of agreed on that.
Nice.
You know, and with like the Scientist stuff, and I guess like a lot of them kind of like Johnny Osborne, Barrington Levy kind of era of that. Who else, man?
How about the rock? How about the Rocksteady stuff? Because when I hear you guys sing, I mean, it just reminds me, takes me back. You know, the "Left with a Broken Heart," for example, or the Ken Booth song you do, "Just Another Girl." You know, those are just, that's Rocksteady.
Yeah, totally.
Harmonies,
massive Rocksteady, and again, we all come with that together. You know, Marcia's written some Rocksteady songs, and yeah, man, like a lot of that. It's kind of, it's weird. It's the influences came from like so many places. Like I said, like it was kind of like, it was like the punk ska, and then like going back from ska, and then kind of doing the history in like a lineage. But at the same time, also, you know, my parents used to listen to reggae when I was younger. We're growing up in London, like dance hall was like massive here. So you hear that blaring out of like cars. Yeah. Just when you're a kid all the time. Do you know what I mean? That's just kind of a part of the fabric. And, you know, even like, you know, everyone in England like knows like Desmond Dekker hits, right, and things like that. I mean, it's a lot of it is kind of, until you actually become like a proper reggae listener, is when you realize like how much of this stuff is just everywhere. It really is. Well,
you can hear that. I mean, especially like 80s digital reggae, like that early part of dancehall. Like to me, I always hear that, you know, Roger's mentioning Rocksteady, and to me, I always hear that kind of 80s digital thing, because not just in terms of like the vocal melodic phrasing, but you know, like the phaser that Marcia uses a lot on the skanks on the piano, and like the sin drums and all that, you know.
Yeah. Love that. I mean, there's definitely like UK like influence as well from like that kind of 80s thing. You know, we like kind of like a bit of like lovers rock things, which is more influenced by, I guess, like a Dennis Bovell, Mad Professor, that kind of more UK like sound, a little bit as well. And yeah, like to go back to the Rocksteady and stuff, you know, we always liked like a lot of like early Heptones and like Paragon, like you said, Left with a Broken Heart, like.
Right.
That video of you guys doing that song is so dope. Like, I don't know how many times I watched that. It's so good.
Oh, thanks, man. Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, I'm glad.
Yeah. Steinberger, yeah.
Say what? Say that again?
On the Steinberger. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a GDC podcast.
That was fat, man. It just
so
like
good.
In the pocket, and you guys are, I don't know if that was at a radio show or backstage or something, but
yeah, it was like a podcast. It was Gentleman's Dub Club's podcast. Big up GDC.
Nice,
yeah. I'm glad you guys brought up the like being influenced by the harmony groups, because I should have asked about that. I never you're such an obviously such great harmonies in your band.
No, thanks, man. Yeah, that's definitely. It's weird. It's like from different eras. Like there's kind of different groups and stuff that we like, but ultimately what we like is, you know, nice rich free parts.
Right. Now, you know, you touched on it, and I you know, when we first started going to UK, London, you get to really see how much of reggae is imprinted here, as opposed to like, you know, growing up in Los Angeles. It's just because the whole reggae story had a big part in the UK, you know, especially the stuff that like Aggro's, you know, trying to, you know, the whole 1969 kind of skinhead reggae stuff. But my question is like, are there other bands? Because I mean, you guys are doing your thing, but are there other bands right now, or bands that you guys are fans of in the UK that get it as well, and are kind of, you know, trying to touch on that era, you know, the vintage kind of throwback reggae?
Do you know what I mean? I feel like UK reggae is like, it's very fragmented. You know, you kind of there's not heaps of like bands really. You know, most of UK reggae is kind of producers and MCs and sounds and singers for the most part. And then there's a few bands. I mean, in terms of our contemporaries, you've got like Gentleman's Dub Club, who do their thing. They're like big 9-piece band, crazy live show. It's almost like a rave, you know. but with like reggae and dub, like and dubstep, and they make like a big sound. Those guys' shows are crazy. But that's probably again more forward thinking thing in terms of like super throwback UK wise. I'm trying to think, man. I mean, our producer Prince Fatty,
Yeah.
he's
Hats
kind of
off to Prince Fatty, man.
he like makes a lot of music with some great people that is really kind of true to style, in terms of like arrangement and things like that. You know, I mean, Horseman, who we work with too. Those
How
guys-
was it? How was it working with Fatty in the studio?
Man, yeah, he's one of a kind, dude. Yeah, we've made 2 albums with him in the studio, and then he mixed the last one in Thailand. And Fatty is we've just learned so much from him over the years, man. Do you know what I mean? He's really the kind of engineer, and the studios that he's grown up working in, you know, like new kids that are coming into music production now, that they just won't care about the sound as much as he does. Do you know what I mean? And they won't just they won't know, they won't have the stories, man. I don't know.
Right.
But, yeah, he is a sound man in
We're gonna try to get him on the show.
important thing. Yeah, he would be really good, man. And he can really, you know, he can talk records, he can talk sessions, he can talk
Bubbles.
he can talk desks, he can talk outboard, he can talk just everything, man.
Great stories too.
Yeah, really good stories. And he really, you know, we first went into the studio with him when I was like 21 or something, making that first record. And, you know, coming from like the punk ska scene and whatever, and having our vision for the band, he really like beat us into shape, man.
Nice.
Good ways too, in a way that,
Yeah.
you know, I think a good producer does send a band on a new course sometimes. So yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, be
No,
up for it.
I'm a big fan of Fatty for sure. Yeah, he's the shit.
Yep.
But band, I mean, there's so many, you know, there's loads of like great UK reggae artists and stuff right now. I just can't necessarily think of anyone doing the old school.
And what about contemporary Jamaican artists that you guys are into right now? I mean, obviously you work with Protege, and who are some of your other favorites right now?
Yeah, man. I mean, we, you know,
Runckus,
it's no secret. We've got love for a lot of that music. Like you said, Protege, Runkus, and Jesse Royal were all on our last record, and that was a conscious decision. The album before FM, which was like a lot more London centric, and we had like Tipper Irie and Horseman, and you know, all obviously London residents and legends. With this record, we were kind of wanted where we had a bit more rock music influence. On the other end, we wanted to have the Jamaican influence with, you know, some current artists from Jamaica as well, and kind of think about the day today. Who else? I mean, Coffee's amazing.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Coffee's so sick right now.
Insane.
It's crazy to me how Coffee, because I love Coffee, and like you're maybe the 4th or 5th person to bring her up when I asked that question that we've had on the show, and it's insane to me. And I mean, she won a Grammy, and like it's all with like 5 songs.
But they're the best songs. This is it. I don't even care about. It's not even a thing. Like the production is like, you know, very poppy, very contemporary, modern bangers. But the songs, man, she's writing the best songs.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I'm saying, like, for somebody to have the kind of impact she's having with like literally less than an album's worth of songs that are released, you know,
And how
insane to
young
me.
she is too.
Yeah.
How like it's so exciting because you know that you're in for just some
Just really
amazing music to
Like,
come.
genuine.
I think Samori I is great too. I don't know if you guys know him. He's got a crazy voice, man.
What's his name?
I think you say it's Samori I. It's Samory.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've seen it. Like, I've definitely seen it spelled. I don't know how you pronounce it, but yeah.
But his voice is like, I would love to hear him on some like old like Channel One things and stuff like that, because he's got a voice that would have passed the audition back those. You know what I mean?
No kidding.
Nice.
I gotta check that. That's
Yeah.
it.
I've seen his
dope.
name around. Hold on. I keep going through. Hold on, wait. Somebody wants to know.
You're
Adam,
gonna pull up the wrong comment.
I
one, is
know.
it? No,
I
I'm
know.
joking.
Today the
I'm
comments
joking.
are like, my mouse is being weird. What's the cat's name? Adam wants to know.
Kenzo.
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 Yeah.
Kenzo the
What's
cat.
up? I'm gonna sneeze just looking at him.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm way allergic to cats. Dogs? No, not at all. Growing up, I was allergic to dogs, and so like we had 2 cats, and then
deal.
and then I was like suddenly allergic to cats, and I'm not allergic to dogs anymore.
Sorry about that, man.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
I'm just seeing in the comments people saying Frighteners, Junior Thomas and the Volcanoes. Listen, we love those bands. I think you guys were asking about UK specifically. I wish we had a Frighteners and a Junior Thomas and the Volcanoes here, man. Believe me.
Yeah. No, those guys.
It surprises me that I mean,
right?
I get why not, but then I don't get why not because of I mean, when I was walking around in the UK, and granted it was like London, right? But I'm sure this is the case for even places outside of London. You just go into your average shop and you'll find records that are like, what? Whereas it's not going to happen like that in LA. You're not going to find a Palma record or some.
But you got to remember, like Trojan and Greensleeves and all that was here.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? They're not Jamaican record labels. They're English record labels.
Yeah, everyone.
Right.
So, and like, there's a lot of them still in this country in circulation. Do you know what I mean?
Which speaks.
Cheap.
But I was gonna say, like, which speaks to Roger's point, I think, like, which is that it's surprising that there aren't more bands like Junior Thomas or the Frighteners that are coming out of the UK.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's weird. Like bands, reggae music is not really kind of like kids that are into bands kind of music. Do you know what I mean? Like reggae music is like very much definitively black music here, and then people that are obviously, obviously there's like a lot of black reggae musicians in this country as well, but in terms of like younger kids maybe in that starting band age, I don't know if like reggae is the go-to. I feel like in England, like you do the reggae band when you're like a little bit older or something, maybe. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's not I would love, it's basically when we were coming up, I don't believe that there were like 30 other Skints across the country of people our age doing this kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, Roger, what do you think? Should we? Is it time for the lightning round?
Of course, it's time for the lightning round. You guys are going to be lit right now, I think. So guys, we have this thing where it is what it sounds like. Lightning question round. We're gonna rapid fire questions, if you will. So what we'll do is we'll jump from one of y'all's and then jump to the next one, and they're just quick answers. You don't need to marinate on them too long. Devin, you want to go first?
Sure. I'll go first. So we'll start easy.
Dum, dum, dum.
Okay. You ready? This is for this one will go Josh first, then John, and then the next one will be John, then Josh. We'll do it like that. Okay. Josh, high tops or low tops?
Let's go for that ankle protection, high tops.
John.
Low tops.
Okay.
John, fish and chips or pizza?
Pizza.
Josh?
It's a pizza from me.
Okay. I kind of played on the whole UK thing, fish and chips.
I know. Well, now I want to know, Roger, fish and chips or pizza?
Well, if I'm in the UK, fish and chips for sure. For sure. Over here, it's whack.
I don't know. There's, where I just was in Big Sur, there's a place that has, it's on the top 5 global list of fish and chips.
Wow.
And
Go ahead,
it's
Dev. It's
very good. I'm going to take you guys all to this place. Okay. Josh, King Tubby or Lee Perry?
It's Tubby's for me, ultimately. Yeah.
It's a Lee Perry for me.
Is it?
Oh,
right.
I like that.
All right.
That's a good question. Oh,
bit-
man.
That's a really good question.
I-
So many ways it could be answered. But,
John, whiskey or tequila?
Whiskey.
Josh?
yeah, I'll take a whiskey as well, please.
Okay. I'll be over in 2 weeks.
All right. All right, Josh. Weed and tobacco mix. I think you guys call it a spliff, or just weed straight up.
I mean, like, ultimately, the ITAL answer is weed straight up.
No,
isn't
but
it?
I want your answer.
Like,
There's no
no,
judgment
I'm not promoting tobacco. It's
Okay.
I'll say weed straight up.
We straight up.
I mean, and he
That would be really good if John just he was like, I'm promoting tobacco.
He's got an undershirt that says
Yeah. Yes.
Marlboro.
He's like spliff.
Camel.
the
John.
Mayfairs was the cheap ones.
Oh yeah, just you just do like chip of the cigarette.
Ugh, yeah.
Great.
Yes.
John. Ska or punk?
Scar.
Josh?
No, I think if it's
No thinking.
it's you have to have the groove if you have to lose one. Yeah.
All right.
Ah, yeah, that's
Well, I hope you guys didn't just say that because you're on the Reggae PodClash, but
Right.
we'll accept it. Okay, Josh. Prince Harry or Prince Buster?
Prince Buster, you kidding?
Yeah, good question, Prince Buster.
All right.
Oh man, that's good, Devin. I like
Oh,
that.
thank you.
All right, John. Texting or talking?
Texting.
Yeah.
Almost certainly texting. Yeah.
Josh.
Definitely.
Same thing. Yeah.
No, I'm a talker. I'm definitely a talker. He's a texter. He doesn't want to talk to you. I want to talk.
We're touching
John
on
would
some.
text
Can we just
PodClash,
Yeah, yeah.
PodClash right now.
fuck out there?
All right, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we got. Okay. The forest or the trees? Josh.
It's got to be the forest.
John.
Yeah, definitely the forest.
I think that's the right answer.
Yeah.
I think that's the right answer. I think it's
I missed that. I think the forest or the trees. Are they
Yeah,
two
well, they have a
bands or
song.
what?
They have a song called the forest.
Oh,
for the
my
Trees.
bad. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, whoa, okay.
It's the forest for the
I
trees,
thought-
and so I turned it into the forest or the trees.
I thought it was a deep. I was like, man, these guys.
No,
are
it is deep.
and I'm
though.
missing-
It is.
It is.
It is deep. Why do you think it's deep? I'll tell you why I think it's deep. But why do you think it's deep? Skints.
Well, why do we think it's deep? No, because the forest is the forest. The trees, it can be crudely chopped down, put it somewhere unnatural. Do you know what I mean? Trees is too vague. Forest is where it's at.
Right. No, I agree with that. I think like I was thinking in terms of like communal living.
Yeah,
And a focus on the whole rather than individualism.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I got a couple individual trees in my backyard. That now I'm gonna have to chop. Now I'm gonna have to chop down.
Yeah.
Guys.
Forest, Roger.
Later days trees.
We don't like trees around here.
All right, I guess this will be the last question.
No, it won't. But go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. Sorry. Yeah. Let's see, John. What's your favorite cereal?
Cheerios.
Josh, what's your favorite cereal?
I reckon it's pretty. I'm gonna go old school Frosties.
Frosties. Okay. Might be a UK thing.
Is that like is
Frosted
it called
Flakes?
Frosties or?
Yeah,
Frosted Flakes.
Frosties with Tony the
Frosted Flakes,
Tiger.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
Oh
what-
yeah,
Oh,
Frosted
okay.
Flakes. Okay,
We call
well,
them
cool.
Frosted Flakes. Yeah.
We good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't
UK,
know.
America, we got this. Peace.
Okay. Well, maybe this is the last question. Mo Sislak or Krusty the Clown? Josh.
No, Mo. I think Mo. He's got there's a lot of depth to Mo.
Yeah, way more bittersweet.
Yeah, totally.
Way more bitter.
Yeah, it's way more like it's a pain that is like more. It's a more like likable darkness. Do you know what I
And
mean?
the whole
Whereas
Marge
Krusty-
thing is great.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, and Krusty's just a bit more of, well, I don't like
less
him.
likable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
way less likable.
I agree. I think Mo's the answer. Although I think maybe you guys hate Krusty a little bit more than I do. But
No,
Oh, hey.
All
Unrelatable.
right. John,
Roger?
Aggrolites or expanders?
there you go.
Oh man.
Are we going there? Yeah.
No,
Josh.
we're not going there. I guess
Josh,
we won't.
Marcia or Jamie?
I'll do it.
Because then I'm gonna get the answer I don't want. They're just
right.
like one's gonna say expanders, the other's gonna go, yeah, that's right, that's right. I'd say expanders. I love that band.
Eric
No,
or Lim?
You guys, honestly, both. I will say, talking about Skints and Blues, I would say 100% the Skints has been influenced by the Aggrolites and the Expanders at different points of the journey. Do you know what I mean? Aggrolites, I think, come in, from the punk scene, and there was like you guys and the Slackers were kind of like doing like what we wanted to do, and it was like coming, it was like record labels that we knew about, and then putting out music that we were kind of listening to in like a different world, yeah. And then just and having like the access, like being able to like see you guys at places like the Underworld and things like that, and it like coming into our kind of like punk world and being like, yeah, this is how you do it. Do you know what I mean? This is how you put the work in, and it sounds like this, man, and like being true to a style, but being like original and having your own identity in the music and things like that, with the whole like the LA kind of cultural influences within the kind of the vintage reggae style and all that. It was a huge early influence, man, for real. You know, and Expanders are just one of those bands that we found along the journey in the world that we were just like, yeah, this is the real deal, man. So,
Well,
yeah.
We're gonna ask
I mean-
that question all the time just so we can get like some compliments. Thank you, Josh.
No, for real,
No.
man.
yeah, man. Thank you guys so much. And I know it's late for you guys. It's
Yeah.
1:30 over there. Dang. So we won't keep you much longer. But man, it was great to see both of you, and I want to thank you very much for joining us on the Reggae PodClash. And can you tell, like, do you want to leave the people with anything, or like give them a way that they can support the Skints right now?
Man, I mean, listening
Live
to
album just came out.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, tell them.
Yeah, live album just came out. Check that out.
Live albums out, theskints.com. That's kind of where we're running, all our merch and our music from. We've actually got a cool thing coming up. Watch out for the Nice Time Club. That's something that's coming soon from the Skints, and that will be a great way to support for anyone that cares to keep the band alive while we can't play shows. And yeah, man, all your bands that you like, if you're really into it and you're still working and got some money coming in, just check out our shirts, man. Shirts is what's keeping bands alive right now, because it's like 7,000 Spotify plays to one shirt.
Right.
That's the shirt right now.
For real.
So if you're into your vinyl, whatever, buy
Got it.
records. But if you're looking to just support artists, I'm telling you, the shirt's where it's at.
And you guys said the vinyl's on pre-order right now. Do you know when that comes out?
Yeah, I haven't got a date for vinyl right now, but it will definitely be well before the end of this year. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
right,
be shouting about it.
Because vinyl's probably, I mean, that's kind of always the case, huh? Vinyl production is just like backed up.
Yeah, totally. I mean, this wasn't obviously a release that was necessarily planned as far forward as albums usually are, kind of thing. So, yeah, a little bit sticky, but yeah, we'll get there. There'll be vinyl coming.
Right. Well, thank you guys so much, man. It's so, it's so great
Thanks,
to see you
guys,
guys.
man. Thanks for taking the time to have a chat with us,
thank you
man,
for having
because
us. Yeah.
it means a lot, when in the quarantine age, when you've got like friends around the world that do the same thing as you do, and there's maybe not that many people around you that do the same thing that you do.
Yeah.
Really understanding like what the vibe is like right now. So it's really good to talk to you guys, man.
For sure, man. I hope to see you guys soon. I really hope this thing ends soon so we can all do a hang.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, mate. Yeah. When will it be?
All right, y'all. Well, we will see you soon. Let's see. Are we all reaching out? Yes.
Yeah. That's me reaching out.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Everybody,
We'll see you
that was the
guys.
Skints. Go buy Skints stuff. Like Josh said, go to theskins.com. Go get their music. Go get their new album. Go buy their shirts. And we will talk to you guys later. Say hello to the other two Skints for me, please.
Yes.
And
We'll do,
love
man.
you guys.
Love
See
as
you
well, man.
guys.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Later.
Nice.
Here we go.
Later, guys. That was cool, man.
Yes, that was so cool. I really do miss all of them so much.
For sure. Just takes you back to all the hangs. Back in the day hangs.
And their new album is so good, man. I just it came out yesterday, so I was listening to it today, just like in prep for the show.
Mhm.
And I was like scrambling because I was like gonna get some ideas for questions and stuff, and then I didn't write down any questions because I was just like listening to it the whole time. So I was scrambling for questions before.
Nice. I
Sure.
be honest, I've only checked out like probably the couple songs that started off,
really
and it was
good.
great. I gotta
It's-
really dig into it.
Not only is like the performance really good, but it was just like the production style is really, really good on it.
Oh, geez. It's gonna be dope.
So let's see. Next Saturday, tell the people what we got going on.
Yeah, we're gonna have like a audition, Hawaiian reggae edition. We got some really cool cats coming in. Zion Thompson will be here from the Green, and Leslie from J Boog will be here as well. We're gonna have them both on, and we're gonna dig in to the just Hawaiian reggae. I mean, as long as I've been playing reggae, I know Devin. There's probably things you still don't know about just the story and the culture of Hawaiian reggae, and it being an island, it definitely has the parallels to Jamaica. And we're just going to dig into that, because there is a definite difference when I hear, let's say, a Cali reggae band and a band that, came from Hawaii playing reggae as well.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm really stoked on that, man. Those guys are going to be able to shed some light on the whole scene.
For sure. Yeah, I'm stoked. I mean, Hawaiian reggae has like I've always been a fan of the different there's from like super poppy Hawaiian reggae to like really real roots heavy stuff. It's like they I've always loved the way that Hawaiian reggae really uses reggae as a vehicle to promote like their obvious love for their own culture.
Right.
That's one of the ways that makes it different for me than maybe some other American reggae.
Right. Definitely. By default, it is what it is. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
And I really have a lot of. I want to dig deep in some of the other bands that maybe we don't even know about that are going on in Hawaii right now.
Well, I'll tell you just real quick. We'll talk about this next week, but like 808 Hawaii Vibes beat me to it. Father Psalms.
Nice.
Yeah, Ukla the Mock. Obviously, there's a guy Kanakoman that like I really like. Juan loves throwing in Rudical Rhythm. That's JC from 4-Piece Band. That was his group from Hawaii. Super influential band. That's one of my favorites. So Juan Love, the Steppas. So
nice.
There's a lot of stuff to touch on next week with Zion and Leslie. And then what do you got coming up this week, Raj?
Nothing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I'm working on that I can't necessarily promote at the time, so I'm keeping busy. But there's a lot of really cool stuff. That's all I could say right now that I'm working on at home. But I'm on the Live Lesson Masters roster now. Have been for probably around a month or so, and it's really, really cool concept. You can go in. You can you have a whole list of artists. You can go and sign up with those artists, and you get to see what they have to offer. So a lot of these cats, either they specialize in guitar or keyboards, or maybe some of them specialize in studio work. For me personally, I'm on there as everything. Everything from Jamaican history, just talking about it, all the way down to like how Jamaican keyboards, my knowledge of it and my approaches to it, all the way down to reggae production in the studio and what I've learned. I don't know everything. I'm a constant student myself. We mentioned Prince Fatty earlier, and I just adore him. He's a great teacher, and I'm sure he has teachers too. And so this is what we do. You just pass on the knowledge, and go check it out. Besides myself, it's a great roster. Devin, I know you got backstage music lessons as well, right?
Yeah, I haven't given one yet. And I actually, I have an interview I did with Kevin, who is the head of backstage music lessons, and he's also the drummer for Stick Figure. And I'm going to publish that sometime soon for Rootfire, just talking about what backstage music lessons is. But yeah, you can go on there and find me and find other artists and get a guitar lesson, get a songwriting lesson, get a harmony lesson, whatever, or just we could just hang and talk about reggae, whatever it is.
Talk about
bubbles.
Bubbles.
Talk about bubbles.
And cereal.
Stage left bubbles. And songbook sessions I do every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Right here on rootfire.net/TV. That's where I just pick up this guitar. Oh, look, I got my pointing. This is the first time I've ever pointed correctly.
You nailed
on this
it.
thing.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm still kinda,
Sweet.
Yeah, I just, play songs. Play whatever you want to hear. And then everybody go follow me on Twitch. It's Man Like Devin. I haven't done anything yet, but I want to do, like, you guys can see all these like records I got back here and record player and stuff. And I was doing some like quarantine DJ sessions on Instagram, but Instagram like shuts you down now after about 10 minutes just because the algorithm is like, oh, like you're playing music you don't own. And I heard Twitch doesn't really do that. So I'm trying to like get some followers on Twitch so we can plan. Nice. And Roger and I were talking about it. There's no plans yet, but we were just kind of like shooting the shit about like maybe doing some kind of Zoom or maybe Twitch, maybe not like a live stream, but a thing where everyone comes, it's a personal invitation and comes in and we do like a Reggae PodClash DJ night or something like that. Right. On some kind of platform that's not going to kick us off for playing, a Lee Perry record or something.
Right. Give us a forum where we have more time to kind of dig into, like we have the segment on this show where, we kind of put in our 2 cents about different songs and why we like them. And from our perspective as musicians and as people who've listened to this music for a long, long time, having a forum where we can just kind of concentrate on that, and really just have fun and share some of these 45s and records with you guys.
Exactly. So that's what's going on. And, as always, go check out the reggaepodclash.com. You can see what guests we have coming up. You can see what records we're going to play next week. So you can, if you want to listen to them beforehand and come with your own questions for us about the records, that's all there at the reggaepodclash.com. If you have any input on the show, you can email us at the reggaepodclash@gmail.com. Definitely go follow the show on Instagram, the Reggae PodClash. And, I think that is about it. And we want to thank once again Josh and John from the Skints for coming on. Next week we're here with Zion Thompson from The Green and Leslie from J-Boog. And Roger, it was very good to see you as always.
Good to see you as always, Devin. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you next Saturday.
All right, peace, y'all. Be good to one another.